Hi everybody. Well, I've got a surprise. I was so happy when I seen this. In one of the last videos, I showed you this decanter, a wine decanter or an iced tea decanter that I got for $5 at a garage sale. And it was filthy dirty. And Jack said, oh, you can put an orchid in that. Well, when we got it home, he says, I think it's too nice. And I said, no, we won't. We just have a bottle of wine or we have this in a glass. We won't use it. And I said, I will use it for an orchid. So he took the tap off of it where the liquid came out, and we don't need the lid anymore, but you never know, you could put it upside down and put something in it. I don't know, but we do not need the lid anymore. And he made beautiful holes in it, nice, they got to be like 1/2-inch holes. Maybe a little, yeah, about 1/2-inch holes. It's beautiful. And because we found we're getting a lot less algae with the holes at the bottom, which I probably over the winter will add holes in the bottom to all of mine. Just one at a time in the winter when there's more time. So we have a hole here. It's not quite on the very bottom. This was very thick, so we didn't want to put one there. And it's beautiful. I just love it. And I was going to get Rosemary to hunt for an orchid for me, but it's so hard up here. And I have this orchid in this pot. And I thought, oh, I think I'm going to put it in. There's nothing wrong with this pot, but I am really loving how happy the orchids are. There, a lot of the ones I put in the glass are ones that I thought were not thriving. They were smaller, they were drying quick. And that's not the case of this one. So it's going to be a healthy orchid, but I'm not sure when I got it, but it's no ID, as almost all my orchids are, except for the ones that people have sent me, and thank them very much, from Roehampton Orchids, and because they're got IDs, but this one doesn't. And I'd have to go back and look at a picture of it flowering last year in this pot to see what color it is, but I haven't done that yet. Because you know we are always busy, but we've had 2 nice days, kind of like rain at night, and then one day it poured all day, but last night it rained at night, and we can open our doors and we can open our windows and it's cooler and it's so fresh, and we needed it badly, so we're thankful for that. Yes, because there was a fire started on Mount Ida, which is right in town, and I thought, oh no. So apparently they've got it under control. So lots of good news, and I'm happy to be putting this orchid in here. Now, it's got healthy roots, and I haven't looked inside in some time. It does have one leaf, the second oldest leaf, that looks a little rough, but the rest look good. It's got this new leaf coming, which is good, and it's nice broad leaves, and it seems to be growing very well. Now, I am not going to pull these roots that are aerial roots through the holes. So I'll probably be checking the roots sometime, maybe the end of September, when I'm thinking of bringing the orchids in. And I so look forward to winter when I watch spikes come, and it is a beautiful, beautiful hobby to have, raising orchids. So, and you get lots of exercise. You don't have to go to the gym. And I'll prove that to you, because after this video, I'm attaching, last Wednesday I watered the orchids, not today. Today is Wednesday too. I did this quickly before we had to go to town to get eggs, so, because we don't have chickens. So I'm going to attach a full watering and reasons why I'm doing certain things after this video. So yes, I love this. Do you know Crystal is getting very collectible again, but it sells for so cheap. As you know, this was a garage sale find for $5. But at the thrift store, you can get ones that have little nicks in for a couple bucks, and you can't complain about that. So I have a few Crystal ones, and I have another one that I'm not going to show you today, but it's a little bit smaller than this, so it'll take a smaller orchid. So there's still another one coming. So yes, I'm happy with these. And let's just talk about differences between this pot and this pot. They both have holes, so that's not a difference. They both drain readily. This one will drain readily. The main difference is that the roots all receive light, so they can photosynthesize. So anyway, I'm not going to worry about the roots that are out, putting them in, coming out of holes, because the other orchid that I started first with in a glass vase, it never did get roots coming out. So we're going to see how it is. And it was watering day this morning. So let's see how this is doing. Now, I haven't looked in here for a while, and I should date things. Really, you guys, you should date. Because I guess I'm just one of those people who hate making lists. I'm not very, like Rosemary, she's a Virgo, and she likes to keep track of things, and she's very smart to do that. So if I'm to give you any advice when you get an orchid, keep track. I heard some of you in the comments, you say, well, you've got books, you keep a record of everything on each orchid, and that is a really good idea. Okay, now these porcelain pots, if they were completely all porcelain inside, roots would not stick. But because when they do the porcelain on the inside, they don't often get the whole. There, I just broke a little root. And this is what does happen sometimes. When you got roots on the outside, they can break. Now, I will be showing you closer. Some of these are stuck in here. They definitely are stuck. Okay, let's see. Just to see what we can get out of it this way. There goes the stuff on the floor again. Now, some of these, okay, there's a couple pieces of lava rock. 2, 3, not many. But I can see a lot of the bark it's my normal, it's not the large bark I used to get, but it hasn't been looked into for a long time, this one. So, we're getting the bark out, but now I'm going to have to get in here and very carefully find out where they're stuck and try and gently unstick them. Okay, this one can come through when it comes out. Quite often it's at the bottom. I think the ones going out the holes are pretty good. See, this is what you don't get with the glass. The ones I cleaned the algae on that have the 2 or 3 inch hole where water can sit, but I take most of it out. Oh boy, they just slide right out of there. You don't bother the roots. You can look at them, you can see what needs looked after and put them back. It does not bother the roots. Now I'm going to tip it this way because I think I got that way pretty good. Oh dear. Yeah, some of them are stuck. And I hate that sort of crispy noise. Okay, push this one through the hole. And this one through the hole. We're getting there. And it's been so dry. Wednesdays is my full watering by my water schedule. But I upped the calcium magnesium. There we go. So see how bad we are. There are absolutely no roots. I will show you. I got them all off. And I see none laying there. And if I'm just looking, holy, this has a very long stem. Piece of the old stem broke off. I'm going to come and show you. This is an older orchid. Wow. You know, it is an older orchid. There's no soggy roots. I see none. Well, it's been so dry. There's something just loose in here. Okay, there's one. Sort of an old one. Okay, I'm going to come and show you. Wow. So, just turn this around so I can see. Now in here, you see this? This is telling you how old the plant is. And this is a piece that broke off. Those are old spikes. So I guess I've had this one a long time and I'm not sure which one it is. So yeah, lots of old spikes on there. And you would see the same thing on here. You can see how old this is by how long that is. So, well, anyway, I do not see anything awful looking. So I'm actually going to be putting a fairly healthy orchid in this pot. And I feel good about that. Now, this is older bark here. And I have been soaking, let's just put this here for now. You're going to be very happy in your new home. Now, I've been soaking for 3 to 4 days. I have been soaking my bark in about, a teaspoon of calcium magnesium and the same with the seaweed extract. Now, what did I took the spoon out and I left it there. Am I an organized person? In some ways. In some ways. So, I also have my bark because this so-called medium bark that I've gotten last is very small as far as I'm concerned. So, there's the odd bigger piece. And I do like, in fact, I've noticed the ones I put the big lava rocks in the bottom. I will probably eventually switch off to bark and cork ones. Now, I get these wine corks from used. The thrift store usually has them in a bag this big for $2 is written on this. And it was full brig, but I've been using it. And I pick them up quite regularly. And Jack's even trained. Look what I got you today, he'll say. But what I want to do is I'm going to put a bit of its home bark in. Because it's kind of like, I always say, it's kind of like, you know, when you go camping or you go to visit someone and you take your own pillow or you take something from home that you're used to having. And it's used to having this and all the microorganisms, and I don't know the scientific facts, that are on this older bark. And it is older. Yeah, it feels like it's starting to break down. So I'm going to intermingle a little in there through the whole works to make it feel at home. And it's going to be like, it will notice I'm you know, cheap. So I'm going to put a few more in the bottom. And then I notice if I use my hands just in this water, the seaweed extract will get, you know, your nails look dirty. So you get lemon juice and you clean them, or you just use a spoon like I should. I'm kind of girl who likes to get my hand right in there and do these things. Okay, we're not going to put too much in before we start intermingling bark. I have another bag of these handy. I do like the extra space these give for air movement to take place. So let's see. It's lucky I decided to put this one in the big pot because, and I do not take anything stuck off. The poor thing, I had to take it. I'll show you the inside of this pot after, where they did not finish it and where they tend to stick. So I'll try and remember. So I just want to get it in there first. Wow, this is an older plant. I'm surprised. You know, I had started out naming them and I had names for them all, and then the tags started disappearing and watering days or wind or... And you know, something else, when I've been watering outside, because you'll notice in my watering, you know, the leaves get wet. It's very hard not to get the leaves wet. And, you know, think about it. They say, don't get the leaves wet. Well, in the wild, the leaves get rained on all the time. All the time. So, we want to put another one of them in there. And there's even a cork floating in here. I'm sure it'll find a place in there. So we're going to put a couple more. I like to kind of get one, you know where the long older stem part broke off? Well, I like to keep that sort of full, but not with anything that'll be wet. So since I started using these, I quite often try to stick them in the center so that it's not in an area there that's gonna get wet. There. Yeah, I think we can put a little bit more. There's a cork. So this will be the real test this spring of having moved some of them there. Like my the spotted one, Sheriana, I never pronounce it right. Well, she is even getting a new leaf, even my older one. It's out on the patio, but I am seeing that the new ones that I put in, because I don't just want to have older orchids in them, but I have been slowly transferring a lot because, like I said, it looks different, but there's not a lot of difference as far as climate. Although I think the humidity stays in these better. Maybe, I don't know why. When these are enameled in the front, that's clear. But you know, you can see how they're doing, and you can see when the bark is dry. In fact, that's how I noticed when I started putting some corks in here. That's when I noticed that it was staying wet. And I'm glad I started doing that, because air can come in those holes and get things moving, where if bark is all compacted and bark doesn't transfer moisture from one piece of bark to another like a lot of things until it's older, so and not so much then. So it's a good thing to do. So just put the spoon this way. I don't want to slam it up and down when it's in glass. But I am liking them, but these are so much lighter than these pots, but not with the lava rock in. Boy, notice the weight. So I'm just gonna, we always end up going to one side more than another. Now at the top, I do not need the cork because it does dry out quicker because it's getting, of course, more air. That's why the air holes are, and I think he put quite a few. This one has more than usual. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 9 holes. As the bark gets in there, you can slowly add more bark when necessary because it settles, which is a good thing because I do have the cork in there, and but it will start to settle. And if you take something you know won't hurt any roots, you can get it to go down in there. But I should have, excuse me, I should have had something long and skinny with me, but I don't. And this is great to save for the compost. So we have a, because we're doing all our gardening different than I'm so happy I don't have to go out in that garden and hoe and weed out there anymore. And we have that beautiful area now. Oh, it's been so nice. Okay, now some are sitting up. Now these roots on the top, they were quite high up, so I'm going to put some there. Now, this is a beautiful shape if you're looking for a glass vase, because you know I did one that bubbled out and it was pretty and everything, and it was crystal too, and then went up. But those bubbles are very hard to keep wet. Not that I think it's going to be a problem because it's nice to have a little drier area for them to go. But I actually shoot water in the one that's bulged out. So this orchid's a little older than I thought. So I guess I'm going to look back. You know, you try and find something in those old things. Oh. You know, if you go to a channel, I'm going to say, if you just go to my channel, now you can watch some of the older videos of me potting, but I don't know, maybe been in, when I started my video about 5 years, and that's how many things I learned in 5 years, but you're always learning. So the newer videos definitely have my changing ideas, different ways I try things. Some people say, no, this works. I might try it. No, doesn't work for me. Because your climate, your outdoor climate, mine are in the patio, your weather, which has been over 100 all summer, where these guys have been. But the cooling nights have saved them, and I got that cheap dehumidifier, the cheap humidifier that holds lots of big jugs of water. It blows cool air. Even without ice in it, it blows cool air, and you don't have to fill them very often, so like every 3rd, 4th day maybe. So like watering day today, I filled both of them, because I hadn't, got to it. So, this is how she looks, and I will have a mess to clean up. And because it will be draining, on watering day, some water, I got a crystal plate. Now, like, you can get these for $1 and $2 at our thrift store if they're chipped, just because they have a small chip, they're still usable. And Jack puts them on a grinder and fixes them so that they never hurt me. So I can have it up here on my counter all winter. And I have it on a nice plate. So I still have some bark left, so I'll probably be back sooner than, maybe I should say normal, but I want to change that. I do try. Mom keeps me busy, Jack keeps me busy, Maggie keeps me busy, and I try to find time to like play the piano. And winter I can paint. I love painting, and of course we've been changing our everything outdoors so that we can look after it when we get old, right? Okay, now I'm going to push this over here. I'm very happy with it. Now, it's not staying in here. It's going back outside till the rest come in. And it's going to get those cooler temperatures at night, which from how hot it is, to help them to spike, you want that 10 to 15 degree drop in temperature. And a lot of greenhouses even say that. So, like, I think they've been getting it because it's been so hot in the day, maybe going to 60 at night, but you know, 60 and 100, so we could have early spikes this year, but it will stay out till when it's starting to get in the 50s, low 50s, then I'll probably bring them in. I mean, I don't want them to freeze out there, but they're doing really good, as you'll see in the video of my watering day last week. I'm going to attach on the end of this video. So I'm going to come over, show you the inside of that pot, and I'll give you a quick close-up here. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So, this is the orchid. Now, it's not my oldest orchid because it's got more purple, but it is an older orchid that probably, I don't know, it hasn't held as much leaves as the ones in the traffic cones, but it's healthy. And I think this is also going to make a difference. So this is how it looks. Nice leaf coming. I noticed some of them are averaging 2 new leaves. But this is what I meant. You see all the places in here that do not have, and you can see here where roots stuck. Because when they enamel it, they don't do the whole pot. But we didn't do too bad. We got them off, and I have a spare pot if I need one, a big one, because I don't need the little ones. I could have got one at the thrift store. There's a close-up of this root. Yeah, it's dry. It's not wet, it's dry. There it is. and there's all the bark. So, thanks for joining me. Stay right handy, and I'll hook on the other video, and I'll hopefully get this up sometime today. Bye for now. I love you all, and say a prayer for someone you know needs it. Bye for now. Good morning. What time is it? It is 20 to 9. So I'm here to start my watering, and I'm going to sort of take little segments and join them together for you. I've already carried all the orchids that were in the corner. Those are all my orchids outside. They're all out here, and what I'm doing is I have put seaweed extract and Kelly Magic from bulk that I order in bulk on Amazon, and I have put them in these dish soap bottles with really nice lids. Look for those really nice lids. They're easy to measure with. So this is a gallon, and normally in my normal watering schedule I'd be using 1/4 teaspoon per gallon, both things. Whether it's fertilizer on my watering schedule, I'd be doing that. So Anybody that wants my watering schedule can ask me and they can have it. Okay, seaweed extract. Normally a quarter of a teaspoon. This is a half a teaspoon to a gallon. So I'll put in the seaweed extract and I'll put in lukewarm water, more on the cool side than the warm side, and a half a teaspoon of Kelly Magic. They love their calcium, especially when they're growing in this heat, leaves and roots. And the seaweed extract is really good because it has also nitrogen, and it's really good for root growth, and this is what you want, healthy growth during this heat that we're having. Now, some areas are getting the rain. I mean, we're flooding back east, and I don't know, are they seeding the clouds? Are they doing this? I don't know. Somebody said one day they're seeding the clouds. I have no idea what that means. But I guess if they seed the clouds, it changes the weather patterns. Is this possible? I don't know. Anybody scientific out there? So I have it in my jug, and I will get lots of exercise. I do not ever go to the gym. I don't know if I ever did. I think I taught yoga way back when Rosemary was in elementary school because we never really had a gym for the kids, and I went in and taught them yoga in class. And I used to teach yoga when I first moved here to some triathloners, but I'm out of practice, believe me. I don't do it anymore. Anyway, I should, but I didn't. So I'm going to water each and every one of them, go through once, and they'll absorb this stuff in like 10 or 15 minutes, most of it. And then I'm going to let them sit, and then I'm going to go all over again with the same thing, even though it's twice, because when you're just pouring a little bit in these containers, not everywhere is getting it. We're trying. And then after I've let that sit, I will give them all a wash with straight water. That's what I've been doing. So I'm going to go out and do that, and I'm going to show you. Okay, we have to take the camera out here. So out we go. There's the corner where I had my orchids. They're all out. There's none in the house. They're all out here. And I will finish later with a close-up of how healthy they're looking, considering. So I'm not too sure. The sun's shining, so. Okay, where can you see and where can't you see? That is the question. So here I was doing these guys. See if I can move this down a bit. I was doing these guys down here, and I'm pouring little bits in. They are doing so well. I am so happy with these little glass vases. So I did one round already here, and then I did this basket. So over here I have some more glass ones. Whoops. You know, in the sun you really don't see much, but I'm hoping you see. So I'm pouring some in. I got a few pots here too. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do to all of them. And it's very hard for me to do it and show you in any, whoops, I try not to get in the leaves, but they will all be wiped with a paper towel in the crotch. I don't know if it's a crotch or not, but yeah, so that's what I do, and I go in and out, and then I'll let that sit in there. And I'll get more and more, and I'll be keeping doing this. So I'm going to turn off for now while I continue. Here I am. Well, I've hooked up the hose. I have to be careful not to knock the camera over. And I'm just going to show you because while I filled up the water humidifier in that room, the big jug that was empty, and did a few other things. All the orchids have had 2 walking rounds of poured in of the calcium and magnesium. And now, because it's more than I usually use, but they absorb quite a bit right away. And a lot of times when you water with a jug with bark, it goes down a certain way and doesn't really spread around. Well, as I rinse it off, the water will help spread it around, and it will get a good flushing. So I do not want too strong of a, I want a little bit of control too. I don't want it too strong, but I want some control. So I probably have to go with this one. So with these little ones, I'm just going to spray in there. There, you see it flushes right up, it fills up, and then it comes out of the holes. Now the holes that have about 2 inches, they're still where they can hold water. I tip them when I bring them back in, and I also will be looking on all the leaves, top and bottom, for any sign of scale, which seems to be, touch wood, the only thing I do get once in a while. And this is what I do. Now yes, because I'm getting water on the leaves and it's really hard not to. Even with the water jug, it's hard not to. But I will be cleaning them up. I will give you a good show. Now this one I can go like this. This is the basket. And I'm not too worried. I do it all the time. So this way they're starting off their morning with a really nice feeding, and I'm sure they're getting lots of water that has to last until Wednesday. And Wednesday they just get a pour through. You know, I was looking at this orchid, this one. It's in this jug, this pot, and I'm very tempted to put it in that big glass decanter. Some of the roots, when I look in here, I mean, the plant looks healthy, but I'm very tempted. What do you guys think? Hey, Rosemary, what do you think? Should I, instead of getting a new orchid, it's a nice orchid. So it's just a thought. And it's used to bark, so it's not going to go through any change. I just might. Oh dear. So this is my watering day, and then I wipe them all off, look them over nicely, and I normally I got Van Morrison on, but you're not allowed to, or I'd let you listen. He's got 2 nice new CDs out I really like, because one of them is old-time music from the 60s redone. I like it. So this is how it's done. Now I'm not going to just continue this. I'm going to close off again, and then I may come back and show you when they're all in their place. So I will see you again. Hi everybody, it is about 10 to 10 and I'm finished. So I'm usually finished if I start first thing in the morning, and I'm usually finished by 10:30. So that was pretty good. Got my exercise. So they're all here. They've all been looked at individually as I put them back. The ones with the holes further up on the vases, I tipped and let the water out. You know, one thing I have noticed, the ones with the cork are very light. The ones I put more big lava rock in the bottom, they're pretty heavy. So that's something to consider when they do give some ballast to the vase if it doesn't have any, but it is a lot heavier. But they're all here and they're done. So I'm free. I have some other things to do, and I'll give you a bit of a close-up. And thanks for joining me. Excuse me. Yeah, it's starting to heat up. Excuse me. Okay. Got a frog. Excuse me, that's better. Okay, we'll show you the top first. There's Alphinia, who was just put in. I think she'll be fine. So these were all ones that needed help that I put in there. So I'm really interested of getting one that is, well, these weren't. These were looking healthy when they came from Roehampton. And sometimes, you see that little bit of water down there? There. I blow in there. I don't use a humidifier watering day. I have a fan on, and they will dry when the heat comes, and they'll be dry pretty quick. Just showing you how they are. Some are a little wetter than others. But it's heating up. I was noticing they were feeling hot already because here they're in the shade. And when these curtains go up, that'll be nice. That'll be a fall job. And all getting organized. So that's about it. And I just say goodbye and thanks for joining me again. Bye for now.